You're listening to the Batuta Advocates Weekly News Wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5. Welcome to the Batuta Advocate Weekly News Bulletin. We hope you enjoyed your weekend. Errol's not with us today. He's out in the cabin that he's built out the back of his nephew's place. His nephew's got a few acres out there north of Batuta, and he's working on, I guess, not exactly being a prepper, but he's trying to be a bit more self-sufficient. And it's all part of this new men going their own way movement he's been involved in.
Yeah, he's got a couple of mates out there hunting, shooting, fishing, all that kind of stuff, self-sufficient. Sounds like an interesting little project. Hopefully we do see him soon, though. It's quiet in the office today.
And yes, it is. So you're left here with myself, Clancy Overl, editor of the Batuta Advocate, and Wendell Hussey, the newsreader. How are you, Wendell?
Very well, thank you, Clancy. Looking forward to knocking this over and taking the dirt bikes out the Savo, so that should be a bit of fun. How are you travelling?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. I'll be manning the desk, waiting for any more developments from our bureau down in Canberra, because as we've all learnt, the news publications are coming back online on Facebook bit by bit, and there is plenty coming out of Canberra.
Yes, the news cycle just keeps on chugging, and we will start off down there in Canberra with the Prime Minister claiming that sexual assaults in Parliament House have always been an issue for the states to deal with.
Yes, unable to leverage a few doses of this vaccine to brush off all that talk of criminal activity taking place in his own workplace, Scotty from Marketing has this week tried another interesting play.
Yeah, he decided to run out one of those strategies that worked so well for him during the height of the pandemic and sought to shift the issue of blame for something onto the states there, saying this was something the premiers should be dealing with.
Sexual assault in the Parliament House offices of federal ministers has always been an issue for the states. I want transparency and cooperation from our premiers. And I'll tell them that myself. But I'll say it again, this has always been something that the states run point on.
Straight shooting Scotty there. We'll let you know how that conversation goes if we get word. There was a little win for the government, though, this week. Facebook seemed to have turned the news back on, as you mentioned there before, Clancy. And Josh Frydenberg might have had something to do with that. He reportedly changed his Zoom background to Bowser's Castle to intimidate the Silicon Valley nerd Mark Zuckerberg during their negotiations. And it seemed to get the job done, Clancy.
Yeah, sort of. Both sides have stepped down a bit, and Facebook have turned the taps back on for news publications here in Australia. And the Treasury is taking credit for it after changing his video call background to the famous castle from Super Mario and putting the fear of God in the tech billionaire that is in charge of Facebook.
Yes, lots of sniffing of brimstone and talking about how hot the lava was apparently had Mark Zuckerberg quite scared. But we did have a comment on this story from Judith Clark, one that maybe caused for a bit of reflection. She said, "The Batuta mob were a great mob once upon a time. Recently, they have become rude, crude and unacceptable. Batuta is a small town in Western Queensland with a pub, and I feel that you should change your name from Batuta to Rubbish."
Sorry, Judith.
She was quite angry there, Judith, responding to a lot of other people in the comments who gave her a little piece of their mind. Down south in Melbourne this week, and Victorians have taken a break from booing Aboriginal AFL stars to focus on booing public health officials.
Yes, the nation's month-long love affair with tennis came to a close on Sunday night, and during the presentation of the male championship trophies, the tennis crowds were even more feral than usual, deciding to boo public health efforts and any mention of the vaccine by the presenters.
Yes, they really do love booing down there. There was some allegations that no-vax fans played a big part in it, but there was a lot, so it must have been the rest of the crowd getting into it too. It's not yet known what they'll be booing next with the tennis over, but this has come as confirmation that perhaps there is a good reason why the pink test isn't played down there at the MCG. In some other anti-vax news, a local anti-vaxxer here in Batuta has urged people to do their own research into car seats.
Yes, we got a whole lot of angry comments on this story. We wrote this one after speaking to Butter Hibiscus, a mummy blogger from our French Quarter, who said that she's exercising her right as a mother not to let her young children ride in government-approved seating devices in her car, because this 29-year-old graduate of the University of Big Pond has done her own research, and she has found that car seats, baby seats, may cause more harm than good.
Yes, she said to us, baby capsules can cause scoliosis and diabetes.
Well, scoliosis, an unnatural curvature in the spine, can be very bad for you. Maybe not quite as bad for you as your spine going through the windscreen at 110 k's an hour, but certainly quite bad.
And in some more local news, a tabby cat has rejected the offer of an open door despite meowing for 10 minutes to be let inside.
Yes, it's a heartwarming one, this one. Young Emily Gordon down in Batuta Heights spoke to us about the incident, saying after a fair chunk of meowing at the front door, she finally caved and swung it open, only for a feline friend to decide she wasn't interested in coming inside and prowling off somewhere else.
Yeah, probably off to go and kill some native wildlife. But Liz Stott left a comment on this story, which is an interesting one, I think. She said, existentially... And Liz Stott left a comment on this story, which might make you ponder, Clancy. She said, existentially speaking, the cat is always on the wrong side of the door.
Hear, hear.
Something to leave you thinking at the end of our news bulletin. That's all for us. Thanks for your company. Have a great weekend, and we'll be back at you again on Monday morning. See you, bye.